I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve, stress, shield my greed. That's how I get it, success ain't no giving. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous, down, wonder when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank, I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze, the roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag, I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need to brag, I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket, Houston, we got a problem. I ain't perfect, let them watch me elevating, got them noxious. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit, nose diving in the house and whoo. Watch out, get ahead, watch out, get ahead, watch out, get ahead. Woo. Watch out, set it up, bet you I shut it down, watch out, get a win. I don't think they really wanna come against the winner, got a finger run up in on a grenade. I ain't never been there when you think you compare. I'm a line, but the one up on the cage. I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide, never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream. Every single Sunday right here for some kind of a shorter mini live stream for the Sunday Sauce videos. But what is going on, Mafia? Thank you all for tuning in to today's Sunday Sauce live stream. I want to do a little bit of a market update with you guys as we have gotten a little bit of a push to the downside. I want to talk about those key levels and those key price targets for Bitcoin. Are we going to see another week where we get that next push to the upside to our next target, which is going to be roughly between 46 to 58K. You guys know that 46K MPOC is an important level of resistance we need to be watching, but that golden target of 48 to 50K where we have that macro golden pocket is the final target. Are we looking to push up to those prices this week? Or are we looking for a little bit more of a pullback and finally a week of some red before eventually putting in a higher low and then going up to those targets? We're going to be talking about it all on tonight's live stream. Thank you all for tuning in. So smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get, you guys get a spin on the Wheel of Pain and Pleasure, where you guys know we'll just be giving away all of my money. But shout out to you guys. Before we jump into the actual charts, guys, let's say what's up to the Mafia. I see you guys popping off in chat already on a Sunday afternoon. Shout out to you guys. We got Nate Quantum Divergence in the chat. What is going on, Nate? Good to see you in here, bro. Thank you for tuning in. We got the Godfather. Go show some respect to the Godfather. You don't want to piss that guy off. Just trust me. Shout out to him, though. We got Danny Two Stacks in the chat. He knows Tony Two Toes, and so do you guys. But shout out to Johnny Two Stacks. Appreciate you for being here, bro. We got Patrick. We got Landon. We got Caffeinated Crypto in the chat. Shout out to Savage Trades. What is going on? Good to see you in here. And I forget who said it, guys, but that first song I played in the waiting room, that guy was spitting, and I forget who said it. Somebody said, yo, that last guy had me ready to throw hands, dude. I was cracking up when you said that. Same here. That guy got me mad hype, just ready to just like shadow box in the office here. But guys, with all that being, it was Low-Key Feta, I think. He said, I'm going to hit the gym while watching. Shout out to Low-Key Feta. I think that was who said he was going to throw hands. But shout out to you guys. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump right on into the charts here, guys, because as you know, it's a little bit of a struggle for me to do a short live stream, and these are literally supposed to be 30 minutes. So let's go ahead and start dropping that sauce, and let's look at the charts. Here we go. So here we are, guys. On the Bitcoin chart, looking at the 15-minute time frame. Now, don't mind this. I will pull up this trade in just a second. This was a nice little short setup that we had in the premium Discord. And, guys, this thing just didn't want me to take my money. Look at that. Just missed that take profit by a couple of dollars, but I think we may be able to come back down to this value area low. So we're going to be talking about that as well, but I'll bring that up in just a minute. First off, I want to go ahead and zoom out and take a look at what we got going on the higher time frames. As we start moving into the next trading week, we need to get ready and take a look at the macro, see those, if we're getting any major signals that could be letting us know that a reversal is incoming. And here we are on the weekly time frame. You guys can see weekly VWAP still looking to come down towards that zero line, kind of getting some support there, money flow coming back up. And this is part of the reason, guys, why we are in a little bit of a sticky situation. Like I said, I am in that short position from basically the top here, right? Or at least it's the local top. But as you guys know, we are treating all of our short positions as scalps until we're able to get those clearer signals to take that big giga swing short. And as you guys know, some of those levels that we're looking at for that giga swing short is going to be up here between 48 to 50K where we have that macro golden pocket. And, I know I bring this up all the time on the live stream, and I don't want to beat a dead horse here. You guys know I love animals. However, when we look at this more macro volume profile, guys, as we zoom out here on the higher time frames, about to start a new trading week, we have to look at the macro and see, what progress have we made in the past week and where are those macro targets. And obviously, guys, ever since we were able to decisively crack this level of resistance, which was the previous value area low from the bull market range here, or the volume profile pulled on that bull market, you could see at about 28.8K. As soon as we broke above that level, guys, we were looking up towards the POC, and now that we're above this POC, we are expecting to begin that journey up to our major golden target at about 48 to 50K, where we have not only the macro golden pocket, but also the value area high of that macro bull market range. Now, this is not anything new to anybody watching the live stream. If you watch any of my content in the past couple weeks, you will be familiar with these levels, but I like to just zoom out and show you guys kind of where we are because as it stands right now, this is kind of the most macro kind of map that I'm looking at the markets, right? So when we're looking at where price is likely to go, the most zoomed out I really get is, at least right now, is looking at the weekly chart like this. And we know that macro technical target is going to be that 48 to 50K level. So I am still expecting that price to get hit, but as you guys know, we did come up to that local resistance, which was that more local volume profile, as well as a naked point of control. Let me go ahead and pull that range up here. There you go, right? So obviously we came up to this range more recently. at this naked point of control / value area high of this local range, right? And just like we were looking at the bigger range, saying if we get above that value area low, we are likely going to eventually get to that value area high. We were able to predict price coming up here using that same theory. But as you guys know, when you get up to those value area highs, sometimes it's a good place to start looking for a short. And that is part of the reason why I am in the short here from about, I believe, 44,580. 44,600 is about my entry. I'm going to show the trade here in just a second. We'll find that exact number. But that's part of the reason why we're looking to go short here. Now, one of the things that we need to keep in mind here, guys, is as you know, we've been looking at this key level, more specifically the naked point of control. Although the value area high is obviously going to be an important level of resistance and support once we're above it, but this is kind of the purple zone we need to be super focused on, because if we hold decisive support on top of this naked point of control, in my opinion, that could open up the or make it more likely to get that move up to about 46K, which is that next technical target. So if you're here, just seeing the thumbnail, I think the thumbnail said next targets to the upside or whatever. If you're here just for those targets, I'll cut you free right now. Next technical target to the upside is going to be about 45,974, where we have that naked point of control, about 46K, right? You also have that psychological resistance, that even level, that even $46,000 level. There's a lot of limit orders likely set there. We could even take a look at Trading Light to see if there are a lot of orders sitting there. But, and then obviously once we're above that, guys, there's not much between where we'll be and that 48 to 50K level being, again, that macro target at the top of the volume profile up here. So, and not the top of this volume profile. I don't want anyone getting confused. There were two profiles that we were looking at here. And honestly, if you do not watch, if you don't have a chance to watch me very often during the week, guys, this is kind of like anybody who just has time to look at our stuff on the weekends. I'm going to give you guys kind of like a quick little shortcut here, and just kind of sum up exactly what we're looking at. It has everything to do with the volume profiles. Range number one, which is kind of like I said, that macro blueprint that I'm looking at to give me insight into where I think price will go next. It is going to be this macro range, right? Pulled on the bull market. Value area low of that range is 28.6, 28.7K. The top of that value area is at about 48,450. POC of that range on the Bitstamp chart. It is different on Bybit. I'm going to show that in a second because that's another key level we have to watch. But this POC on the Bitstamp chart is $34,330. That is another key level. So those three levels are what make up this value area pulled from the top of the bull market. So that is the most macro blueprint that I am looking at, right? And then the local blueprint I'm looking at right now, if I turn off that major range and we pull up the local range, it's simply pulled from this small area of consolidation here. I pulled the volume and then extrapolated those levels to the current price action. You could see they play out almost perfectly. That value area high is sitting at about 44,350, I would call it. Value area low of that range, 37,482, and the POC of that range is getting closer to about 38,959, almost 39K, right? So those are the two major macro volume profiles I'm looking at, right? So locally, I'm looking at this range for the context where price is going to go in the short term, and then in the longer term, I'm simply looking at that bigger range. And on top of that, we also have the next targets, which are just comprised of Fibonacci retracements, naked points of control, horizontals, just other, intermediary levels of support and resistance between the major macro volume profile levels, if that makes sense. This is how I'm able to kind of project a map onto the charts, and each individual level of the volume profile gives us insight into what is more likely to happen once we flip or lose a level, right? These levels of support and resistance aren't just, obviously you could treat them as typical support and resistance levels, like you come up to a level of resistance, you're expecting to get a rejection. Support, you're expecting a bounce, right? But with the volume profiles, it gives you a little bit of extra insight, right? Because we know right now that if we're unable to get above this value area high and we get a rejection, the next likely place for price to go is going to be probably the POC and the value area low of the range. Although not guaranteed, oftentimes that's how you see the volume profiles play out. Now, if we come on down to the lower time frames to kind of analyze this local price action, really the key here, guys, is like I said, we haven't really seen too much happen over the weekend other than this little pullback, but not only is it the value area high, but also this naked point of control at 43,570, let me see. Let me get that exact level for you guys. So about 43,578, right? 43,575. Obviously, depending on what exchange you're looking at, this level may not be there at all, or it may just be a few dollars higher or lower. So with that being said, this is the key purple box, right? Between the value area high and the naked point of control. If we're able to decisively hold above these levels, that is where we can open up the door to higher prices. But once we start dropping below here and we can't get back above that value area high or that naked point of control, that's where I'm looking down for some lower levels on Bitcoin. So basically, not too much has changed over the weekend, guys. I was hoping for a little bit of a bigger dump to come in here, but price has been holding up pretty well above these levels. Now, taking a look at the daily, another thing we have to be careful of, guys, is this 2-day, right? Remember this 2-day bearish divergence that we were looking at with our price action coming to the upside and the momentum waves coming to the downside. Now, again, this is not printing. This is not even printing yet, right? But it is starting to look like it may want to print. VWAP about to cross over that 0 line, likely to give us that red dot very soon. Once that red dot pops up, we'll have that 2-day bear div, which although I wouldn't expect this to bring us to 0 or, maybe not even down to 37K, not expecting like a gigantic dump, but obviously that 2-day bear div could give us some kind of a pullback to potentially put in a higher low and then get a breakout to the upside. But again, it is all going to be reliant on whether or not we wind up holding that local naked point of control and value area high. We may see this bear div get invalidated. We have to be very careful right now, guys, because we are in a bullish environment. But when you're in a bullish environment like this, you have to understand you don't want to get too emotional on one end or the other, right? We obviously just came out of a pretty nasty bear market, and I'm not saying the full bull market's in effect right now, but obviously, guys, we just endured so much pain where really, me as a trader, my eyes have gone so much more automatically towards the shorts because we've been in this downtrend for so long. We had to quickly change our bias as soon as we changed the macro market structure to a bullish trend. That's where you have to really start flipping your view and just being like, okay, I'm not bearish because I'm emotional and I want lower prices. I'm only bearish because of what the charts are saying. And once that gets invalidated, right, and we start a macro bullish trend, you have to be willing to take off your bear goggles and then put on your bull goggles because you're going to wind up getting wrecked trying to short every top on the way up. So just remember, like I said, and I'm going to show this right now, in the short that I'm in right now, still going to be treating this as a scalp, right? Not expecting this to go to 0, almost expecting it to get stopped out to see some kind of a FOMO squeeze to the upside, almost expecting these shorts to get stopped out. So let me go ahead and pull up these trades really quickly and show you guys kind of what we're working with. And it's really nothing new, right? We got into this position, I believe, on Friday or Thursday, and this was put in the premium Discord as a setup. Shout out to the premium Discord and anybody in the chat with who is in the kitchen or the premium Discord as they call it. But shout out to anybody in there. So we put this setup. I believe this was on the 8th. So put this setup in here. We were simply looking for a swing failure pattern with some other specific confirmations. And remember, notice where this take profit is. This take profit isn't all the way down at 28.8K, right? This is just a little scalp short position, right? In and out, jumping in, grabbing your bag, and getting out. Probably, if we did wind up getting my take profit hit here, I would have taken partial profits and then moved my stop loss to my entry, making it a guaranteed risk-free and guaranteed winning trade. And then if we get the bigger breakdown, great. My little single or double turned into a grand slam. And if I wound up getting stopped out, cool. We got stopped out in profit, and we made a little bit of money. So obviously, this is the actual position that I was in. Just kind of visualized on the chart, and you can see somebody did not want my take profit to get hit. Missed it by a couple of dollars there, unfortunately, and you guys can see we are sitting on that point of control. But I will be holding this position, right? I believe, I didn't hit my partial take profit either. So I'm actually getting paid in fees now. I was paying fees before, but now I'm up positive on fees, up about 28% on the trade. But again, if we come down here, I will hit a partial TP. It's going to be it's probably going to be a majority partial take profit, and then move my stop loss, hoping for a bigger breakdown. If it breaks down, we cash out a little bit extra. Or if we come back down to the bottom of the volume profile, remember, if you wind up getting bullish confirmations down here, we may be able to get a move back up to the high of the range and then see a bigger breakout, in which case, if that happens, cool. We still win the trade, even though we technically lost the trade. It's weird. But anyway, so that's kind of what I'm looking at right now on Bitcoin, guys. Other than that, locally, this is the range that I'm still looking at, right? Expecting hopefully to, if we can lose this point of control, once again, we may be able to come down and actually tap this value area low, because you could see we did front run this by a couple of dollars. And a lot of times when that happens, even if you wind up going up and testing the value area high again, oftentimes you will come down and tap that value area low. Not 100% guaranteed, but oftentimes you will see that happen, right? So going to be holding this. Worst case scenario, I'll get stopped out maybe at a small loss or break even. But yeah, so that's what we're looking at on Bitcoin. Other than that, guys, really like I said on Friday's live stream, that macro bearish signal that we were looking at was that 2-day bear div. This was kind of the main thing I've been looking at this weekend. And that it's still about to print, right? We do print another candle here in about 6 hours and 42 minutes. And, once that winds up giving us the red dot, we will have that bear div. But, again, just being cautiously bearish, right? Just like knowing that at some point we are going to get a big rejection to come in. Again, not really expecting that to for anybody who hasn't seen the live stream from Friday, once we get up to this macro golden pocket, and I will just change the value areas here to make it a little bit more clear. Once we get back up to that macro value area high, if we are able to get up there, this is where I'm looking to load up on more of my swing shorts, right? And then like I was talking to the premium Discord on Friday saying, once we come up here, I will be looking for that bigger swing short. And this is a position where I wouldn't really be treating this as a scalp short, but I would make it more of a low leverage swing short position. And even if we broke the macro golden pocket, I may even add to the position all the way up to the 786 and continually add up to the position, expecting some kind of a decent pullback before actually winding up, seeing what the rest of this bear market's going to give us, whether we're just going to keep ripping up and grinding to the upside, or if we're going to get a big correction like we did in 2019 before having the halving come in and then finally off into the parabolic bull run. So that's kind of my plan going forward. But other than that, still keeping an eye on the two-day bear div. Money flow on the higher time frames is still coming up, right? So that is healthy in the long term, like when we were looking even at the 2-day, like starting to roll over a little bit, but not looking too bad. So in the long term, things still do look pretty good. Just really trying to, get into those scalp shorts and hope that we can catch a little bit bigger of a correction. But again, not taking a huge risk on the shorts or the bigger short positions until we get up to this more, key target. So there you go, guys. That is what we're looking at on Bitcoin. Let's see. Who do we? Shout out to Darren Does Things says, real Dave? Fake Dave would would be way more credible. Shout out to Darren Does Things. Do we have a Dave Digital imposter in the chat? Shout out to Dave Digital. Smash that like button if you love Dave Digital or if you find the content useful. Guys, if we get, I guess today's Sunday sauce. If we get 500 likes on today's live stream, actually, you know what? We'll lower it because these are short live streams. This is not going to be a full 2 hours, so we have a lot less time. If we get 400 likes on tonight's live stream or today's live stream, I'll spin the wheel tomorrow. We're not going to spin it today, but I will spin the wheel tomorrow. We'll start off the Monday giveaway wheel spins with 10 spins if we get 400 likes on today's live stream. Let's see. Tyler Durden said short. Okay. Shout out to Tyler Durden. I don't blame you for having trust issues with me doing short live streams. All right, let's see. We all know the real Dave Digital with the fake wrench is still in bed recovering from a hangover USDT pair because of last night's piano bar session. Shout out to Mark Dutch. Shout out to Dave Digital. Well, Dave, if you're in bed recovering, bro, the Mafia's here for you, and we're hoping you a good recovery from that massive trade on hangover USDT. But guys, let's see. Yeah, shout out to P-Rad Crypto said, Frankie, you do not know how to do shorts. And I think he's referring to, live streams, I should say. I was like, I think I know how to short. But P-Rad, I don't know. If I don't, let me know what I'm doing wrong. But no, he's talking about a short stream. They are extremely difficult for me to do, guys. But we do have a few minutes here. That is basically what we are looking at, what I'm looking at on Bitcoin, guys. So those are the targets to the upside. And as far as the targets to the downside, if we do wind up getting a bigger push down, let me pull up that Bybit chart again. Locally, really what I'm looking at is going to be the value area low as our next key level of support. And let's go, baby. Losing that POC right now. So if we get a push down to that value area low, like I said, taking profits, definitely going to be looking at this as a level of support. But if we continue down, what I want to do here is I actually want to pull up trading light, and I want to take a look at some of these naked points of control, right? So we're going to come up to the daily time frame, zoom out just a little bit. Here's some other key levels, right? Now, like I said, as of right now, I am still being very cautious, right? Like I'm thinking in my head, I am lucky to get a breakdown of this range, right? And if we pull up that visible range volume profile, or the VPVR, as I like to call it, and anyone who says VRVP, you're wrong. I'm just kidding. I'm actually wrong, but VPVR just sounds better, guys. This has been like a gag on my show forever. But anyway, if we wind up losing this range, guys, I would be very happy, right? So kind of like, listen, if we come down to the value area low, taking that partial take profit, if we wind up losing these lows, I will be careful. I will be very careful of a swing failure of this wick down here. However, if we decisively lose the range, look at the local volume gap that we have down to this next level, which isn't even really pulled as a level of support. This was just an SFP that we were looking at from this local range before we got that push down. But it just so happens to be lining up right now with this high volume node, right? So you may be able to bounce off that level, but this local value area, this local low volume gap, if we're able to break these lows, we will likely see a quick move through that gap down to really these levels, right? Where we have that previous SFP level and value area high / high volume node down here. And remember from Friday's live stream, when price dips into these low volume gaps, you want to think of it as price kind of being lost in a mall without its mom, right? But the high volume nodes are its mom. And once you lose that range and you're inside the low volume gap, think about price as a lost child saying, hey, where'd my mom go? Where'd my mom go? And then it just sees an adult woman here and goes, oh, that must be my mom. Bing bong. And then it gets attracted to that high volume node. I don't know why I use that as an example, guys. It's probably the weirdest example you could possibly think of. But that's how I think about it, right? If you want to think of a more normal example, just think low volume gap. There's no floor underneath you, right? So if you come down into that low volume gap, there's nothing holding you up within that low volume gap, and you just fall right through the floor to your next floor, which would be a high volume node. And then if we start pulling some fib levels, also I want to talk about the naked points of control underneath us. But if we pull this from the impulse to the high here, you could see the 786 Fibonacci retracement level is basically at that same level we just looked at with that SFP. Again, right here at that high volume node. Great confluence between these two levels. So again, if you wind up coming down, falling through the low volume gap, you could get a little bounce off the golden pocket, and then you may go for that 786. So definitely going to be a key zone of support to be looking at between 42.6 and about $42,084. So there's the local levels to the downside, and then the next targets to the upside. You guys are all prepared. But other than that, I mean, 4-hour on market cipher B, looking for a green dot here with money flow coming up. So, not impossible to go back up and get a move towards that value area high, but we'll have to see what happens. Other than that, lower time frames are kind of looking bing-bongy, right? Looking kind of sideways, a little bit confusing. Surprised this isn't a blood diamond. But again, as of right now, my short is good to go. Again, if I get stopped out, no big deal. Kind of expecting to get stopped out, and really pissed. Like, we talk about those market makers, stop hunting people and wicking you out of your positions right before price goes the direction that you thought it was going to go anyway. And here I kind of got the reverse. I got there's the blood diamond. I was going to say, I was like, I don't know how this is not a blood diamond, but it just popped up. I missed this take profit. They were just like, ooh, we're going to give you money. We're going to give you money. Nah, not today, pal. But again, we'll see what happens here. I'm going to be holding this short, and then those are the key levels. And with all that being said, let's see. They dodged my TP on the last short position by a few bucks. Shout out to Mystic Ruin. Yeah, they are absolutely brutal with it. But just looking at the volume profile theory here, I will say, right, you deviated from the value area high. Maybe I should have done a little bit of a trade breakdown for you guys on today's Sunday Sauce. But, simply put, I won't go too deep into it. It was a simple swing failure pattern, right? We were looking for the swing failure here. Price wicked up, came down, closed the candle below that SFP. We looked for the position entry, and then at that point, you're looking to get sucked back into your volume profile, to your POC, and then eventually to your value area low. The real question is that the move to the value area low, or are we finally going to come down and actually touch the level? So we'll have to see. I may even take a partial TP on the way down to that value area low and move my stop loss just with that 4-hour green dot lingering. If that 4-hour green dot with your money flow slightly coming up winds up giving you a move, it's kind of hard to say. I may risk it for the biscuit. I don't really know how to, I might risk it for the biscuit. We'll have to see what happens. But either way, that's my plan moving forward, guys. And I'd like to share that with you guys because I figured, if I show you guys kind of what I look at and how I handle these markets and how I approach things, and I not only like show you the levels and the TA, but talk to you about like what my thought process behind this trade is. Like, where is this trade invalidated? Where is this trade taking profit? That'll help you guys in your trading plan when you're looking at the charts by yourself. Okay, V Slim said, okay, now tell ETH what to do. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum, or Erythrium, as your grandmother might call it. Guys, we got a little Sunday sauce in the mug here. You might think this is black coffee, but on Sunday, I'm actually religiously obligated to only drink macaroni sauce because of my my background. But there you go. So just you can hear how thick it is when I drink it. It's junky, but it's good. And I love it as an Italian. But anyway, guys, taking a look at Ethereum. Shout out to V-Slim. Tell Ethereum what to do. The reason he says that, guys, is because for some reason, Ethereum has just been trading alongside our particular plan. Right now, I don't say that because I'm the best trader, etc. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying recently, like, we tell Ethereum to do something and it just does it. And it doesn't always work like that. But recently, it has been going according to plan. But as you guys know, we've been looking at some pretty key levels, and they remain key, right? And there's kind of a similar theory here that we're looking at as the volume profiles, but it's not quite the same, right? Because these levels, like, this is not a value area high. This is not a value area low, and there's no POC in the middle. But I did find these levels using volume. And I really wish, does anybody know when you have a, yeah, shout out to Mark. Mark said, I think you should risk it for the biscuit. Well, shout out to Mark. All right, that's it. I am not, let me see if I have a stop loss on this trade. If I do, I'm going to take it off. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to take off the stop loss, but I'm going to risk it for the biscuit. I'm not going to close this early and be like, I want the money. Leave me alone. I'm going to trust the trading plan, and if it gets invalidated, we'll catch the next one. So shout out to Mark. We are going to risk it for the biscuit. But don't worry. If I lose the trade, I'll still blame myself. It's okay. But yeah, we'll risk it for the biscuit. I think he's right. I think we risk it. We'll see what happens. But shout out to Mark. I appreciate you for being here. All Set said, love you all listening in. Shout out to All Set. Well, we hear you, bro. You're listening, but we could hear you listening. Shout out to All Set. Let's see. Risk it for the brisket biscuit. Shout out to Tyler Durden. Ooh, brisket biscuits sound pretty good right now. Yeah, shout out to All Set. Said, have a good one, Mafia. Let's see. Do it for the cookie, Mark S. All the Marks want us to risk it. Shout out to, we need some more Marks in the chat. Just to, those are like the, Marks are like the devil on your shoulder. Like, go ahead, crank up the leverage. Go ahead, hold it. Take the stop loss off. You don't need the stop loss. Shout out to all the Marks in the chat. Okay, so let's continue on. Shout out to 12. I see you in the chat, bro. Good to see you in here. But as you guys know, we used volume to find these levels, right? Not a volume profile, but I'll show you kind of how we found them. But we were expecting price to get above here, flip this key level at 2146. The reason I bring up these old levels is because they are still key. 2146, looking for that to flip to support, to break into this low volume gap, flip the purple box to support, come back into resistance, break out, and come to the next key target, which was right here at 2350. So these key levels are still important, right? So 2146 and 2350 are still very important levels. Now, if we are unable, this is kind of a similar situation as Bitcoin, guys. If we are unable to break back above this level and flip it to support, we may be able to come back down to some of these lower levels, right? And now, you can see we are kind of just battling that level as we speak, right? Like we kind of break above it, back down. Now we're rejecting it. So this is very similar to that MPOC on Bitcoin. Let me pull it up. Very similar to this naked point of control on Bitcoin. If we hold above this level, could be a good sign. Very similarly on Ethereum, very, very similar. Like, these are the key levels, right? We get above this, I'm bullish. If we remain below it, that's where I'm staying bearish. So those are your key kind of directional levels to look at. And for anybody who's interested or here to learn with their notebook, anybody who's trying to learn, let me pull up the VPVR just to kind of show you guys what we were looking at to find these levels. And then we're going to go ahead and we'll check out. I'm going to take a look at one altcoin other than Ethereum, or maybe a couple. We'll do a speed run, and then we'll hop off. I think I'm going to be good for a somewhat short stream here, guys. But let's see. Taking a look at our volume profile, I want to zoom out to the higher time frames and show you guys why we were looking at these levels the way we were. So again, why is the level that we're at right now so important? Well, if you look at the volume, you can see that once we crack above where we got rejected from right here, and again, next target to the upside remains the same at about 2350, I believe. Or no, I'm sorry, 2522. Why did I say 2350? But you can see here we're tapping our head, or we're rejecting right now this little spike in volume right here. Now, if we get above that level, we do have a fall off in volume until your next high volume node at about in the 2500s, right? Now, this is also in perfect confluence with a value area low from our previous price action from back here in March. And if I turn off on the TA, you can see, right? High volume node, which is creating the resistance we're reacting on right now. If we get above this level, you may be able to fly through this somewhat low volume gap. This isn't a complete void in volume, but it is a fall off, right? Which could give you, it makes it a little bit easier to get price to push through that level, right? So if we hold above this high volume node that we just rejected and we're able to push through that low volume gap, the next real level of resistance is the beginning of this high volume node, which is also in confluence with this value area low from this old range. And then at that point, now you have context into where price might go next, and we can actually move this to the right and look at this as a white box, right? Because if you wind up getting above here, you know, not only are you flipping a level of support, resistance to support, but it's a value area low, which are oftentimes doorways to what? Higher prices. Exactly. So if we hold that level, you are likely to get a move through this range, potentially targeting, you know, and again, like also looking at your volume, like look at your actual volume profile here, right? Once you get above the high volume node that starts the level at 2500, kind of, I mean, not really a fall off, but you got a quick move down here. Could be a quick move back up to these levels, and then your POC and your value area high are at the top of the range. Again, making it likely once you flip that value area low to get sucked up towards your next high volume node, which would be up there, getting closer to about 3,200. So that's the next kind of trajectory I would be looking at on Ethereum, guys. So there you go. Other than that, on the indicators, looking very, very, very similar to Bitcoin, right? Kind of looking for a green dot on the 4-hour. So if we are going to yeet up and get a random pump out of nowhere here, guys, I do think that 4-hour green dot may be the thing that does it. But I don't know how confident I am that it's going to happen because we are getting some mixed signals. So let's go ahead. I want to check out, let me check out Dogecoin really quick. Gary Rogers says, what's up, Frankie? Shout out to Gary Rogers. I am chilling, bro, on this Sunday. Let's see, 240 likes. Set it up, Mafia. Shout out to Crimson's girlfriend, said smash the like button. Guys, 300, did I say 300 or 450? I think I said 350. 350 likes on today's live stream. We will spin the wheel 10 times starting off the week strong with some giveaways tomorrow. But let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of other altcoins. Okay, let's take a look. I want to take a look at Dogecoin really quickly, and we're going to wrap up very, very, very soon here, guys. But I do just want to take a look at Dogecoin really quickly. So here we are. Let's see. Is this our, yeah, this is our chart for Doge. And here we are. For anybody who has not watched the live streams all week, or this is kind of your day to catch up with us, here we are within our macro volume profile from the bottom of the bear market. And you guys can see we obviously have broken out of this level, and we are now starting to consolidate and kind of bing-bong around up here, which is very, very, very interesting for a couple of reasons, right? Reason number one would be that we have broken the key level that is the doorway to our higher prices. Right now, this is the value area high, and once we got to move out of here, you guys know that we actually looked. Speaking of low volume gaps, you can see that we have been looking at a low volume gap here on Doge here. Once you get above this value area high, and more specifically above this shelf of volume, there isn't much holding you back from this previous value area low, getting closer to about 13 cents. So this breakout is sustaining itself above the value area high. But remember, you want to be careful because this is oftentimes, you know, every time you deviate above your volume profile, for the most part, this is indicating an overvalued asset, and you want to look to short this thing back into the fair value, which is between the value area low and value area high of the range. However, obviously, like, Doge is not just going to range around here forever. So at one point, you know, you can see you deviate from the high, you come back down. You deviate from the high, you come back down. You deviate from the high, you come back down. Deviate, back down. No deviation, even to the downside, right? Deviation, you get sucked back into the range. Deviation, sucked back into the range. Deviation, sucked back into the range. So, but eventually, guys, obviously, Dogecoin's not going to stick around here forever. Eventually, you're going to finally get a decisive breakout and get a move up to the higher prices. So as long as we remain above this value area high, I am going to be looking, even if we get a pullback, I'll look to potentially get a bounce off the value area high. But as long as we live above here, I am feeling somewhat good about Dogecoin. Not only does it have a fresh money flow crossover on the 3-day, on top of the money flow on the 4-day coming up as well. 2-day fresh money flow crossover. Like, this is pretty bullish in the long term, making me think, if there's any time to break out here, this would be a better chance than any, right? Doesn't guarantee it, but it does make it, a better chance than any. And you can see we crossed into the green here before getting sucked back in, crossed into the green here before getting sucked back in, crossed into the green here before getting sucked back in. But we're at a different point in the market, right? We have a lot of the altcoins breaking out. Bitcoin's in the 40,000s. Like we are in a different market environment, right? This was basically a bear market. So every time we came out of this volume profile in the past, it's kind of been a no-brainer short, just because of that, the idea that we were in the bear market. So right now, again, to try to figure out if this is a decisive breakout, continuing to close really high time frame candles, which we have been able to do pretty well here. And as long as we hold above that value area high, I will look for potential more upside for Dogecoin. And then, not really expecting any more downside until we break back below that value area high. Shout out to Mark Dutch. Thank you for dropping those Frankie Candles memberships. Shout out to Mark Dutch. Thank you so much. Shout out to Mark S. Dude, what is up with the marks today? The marks are showing out in the Frankie Candles live stream. So shout out to Martin Crypto. Welcome to the Mafia, bro. We got August Wang in the Mafia now. Gary Rogers. We got Royal Caribbean Royal Canadian. I was like, Royal Caribbean? This guy works for the cruise lines. Royal Canadian Bear Force and Mark S. getting those Frankie Candles memberships. Welcome in, guys. And let's go ahead. I want to take a quick look at XRP. As you guys know, we've been looking for a move on XRP once we cracked above this value area low. And again, are you guys finding a pattern here, right? Typically, when we break above those doorways to higher prices, we do typically get moves to the upside. And in this case, XRP did push right up into our next resistance box before getting another rejection. Now, yes, I am still in my XRP short, still clinging on for dear life. Still up 258%. Obviously, guys, I've locked in most of my profits here. My stop loss is at break even. So if I get stopped out, I'm going to make like $1,000. It's not. So like I know I've seen a couple of comments. I love it too, because it's like the Mafia is out here learning, and I love this, right? Because so a few people commented like, Frankie, what are you doing, dude? You always tell us don't be greedy. Why are you holding this XRP short? And the answer to the question is, I've already taken most of the trade out, right? So we get stopped out. Like, this is just a little bit of a moon bag I'm holding. If we get stopped out, we made the quick $1,000 almost. And this was like a 15-minute trade, right? We were in and out in 15 minutes, locked in the profit, and then we're just letting this thing ride. So if we get a mega nuke out of nowhere, we get extra money. If we get stopped out, we make $1,000. No big deal. And this is why you want to be using good risk management, because it not only protects you and preserves your capital, but it also makes your trading life and your personal life much more comfortable, right? Because I'm not like panicking like, oh my God, now XRP's pumping. Like, what do I do? Like, I don't care if that gets stopped out. I'm like, okay, cool. I just got paid. So I am still holding the short here. I am going to hold this thing until it kills us. But I don't think, we'll see. We're putting up a good fight right now, but I am still holding that short. My stop loss is actually not too far away. Oh my God. Wait, hang on. We missed my stop loss. My stop loss is 0.7058. My stop loss is right here. So we just missed my stop loss, but we came into the rejection zone, got the push down as we would expect. But overall, guys, I mean, I'll be honest, like I wouldn't be surprised if XRP keeps pushing up here, right? Because once you're above that value area low, doorway to higher prices, that's where, number one, we were saying, hey, we can get a move into this purple box. But at the end of the day, if we get rid of all the intermediary levels, as I like to call them, we're just looking at this as a macro volume profile. And what happens when you get above your value area low? Eventually, you're expecting a journey up to your value area high. But obviously, we have those levels in the middle, which not only are important because we could reject them, but we could also make money on them, right? I didn't get into this trade, but we could have looked for a short in this purple zone if we wanted to make a little bit of extra cash. But there you go. Other than that, key levels on XRP, value area low, $63 cents. We stay $63. XRP to $63. If we stay above this level, gonna be not really gonna be expecting a big move down. But once we start losing it, just basic volume profile stuff. Key level of support, if we lose this range decisively, will be 54 cents. Next level of resistance, if we wind up coming back up here, I'd be looking at the 786 sitting at 0.7120. And there you go. I mean, next major target would be the POC at about 83 cents, but we're pretty far away from there as of right now. And then last but not least, guys, I do want to see take a look at Chainlink, as I do see a lot of people shouting it out in chat. But here we are, and XRP. Chainlink also in a very similar situation, right? Now, Chainlink actually in a very exciting situation. I mean, very similar, right? A lot of these altcoins, guys, are toying with their value area lows from the bull market, right? Same thing as Bitcoin, right? You guys, like, I want you guys to start noticing a trend here, right? So if we go to Bitcoin and we go to the Bitstamp chart, you guys know bull market top, right? Range, value area low. Bitcoin has already gone on its run here. Now, again, we are still expecting potential higher prices, but Bitcoin, when Bitcoin got above that value area low, boom, right to the bull market POC. Once we got above the POC, boom, we start making a run for that value area high. Very similarly, look at Chainlink. If I could find it. Right here. Look at Chainlink. Very, very similar. Let me get rid of these local levels here. Simply put, bull market top, value area low. We are knocking on the door. So we are expecting the same thing out of Chainlink that we would on Bitcoin, theoretically, by looking at the volume profiles. Once you get above the value area low, flip it to support. You may get a move to the POC, and then you may make the run for the value area high. Now, this is not Frankie Candle saying buy Chainlink right now. It's about to go to $31. Remember, even on Bitcoin, this took some time, right? I mean, it actually happened extremely fast in the grand scheme of things. But all in all, guys, like, this didn't happen in 2 days, right? This happened in 2 months, right? So there is, it's not just going to yeet up, right? And oftentimes you will get corrections, right? Although Bitcoin did not have too many savage corrections here. When we're looking at Chainlink, I just want to be clear. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not telling you to buy or sell anything, but I'm just saying, if Bitcoin and a lot of the other altcoins, if you watch the show, we look at this same theory all the time, while we're knocking on the door here, it's like, is it likely that we flip this to support, or is it likely if we flip this to support that we can get a bigger move to the upside? Absolutely, in my opinion, I do think that, right? And obviously, we know that there's probably other levels of resistance in between, but the next major targets would be $26 to $31, and especially if we pull up the VPR, we could confirm that with the volume. And you can see, right, again, like, there are intermediary levels here, and I'll show you exactly where they are right now. We're just giving away all for free on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. I wouldn't have it any other way. But you can see we do have a value area high sitting here. You might be thinking, like, where are you getting a value area high from, Frankie? I'm pulling this from the visible range volume profile, and I'm finding the level. I guess I'll spit the sauce, right? You can see these are unshaded candles, letting us know that from here up is outside the value area. The highlighted candles or highlighted bars show you the value area, and you can see we have unshaded candles from here down, letting us know this is the value area low, this is the value area high, and then obviously the highest volume node is your POC. And if I actually populate those levels, you can see that, the volume profiles, this is how they behave, right? What do we always say about the POC? This is where price likes to get magnetized to. You'll see that we cling to the POC oftentimes. This is the POC. What happened to price? For the better part of, let's call it, let me grab my measuring tool. For the better part of 515 days, over a year, we clung to that POC and then finally flipped it to support. And then what happened? Boom. We flooched through this low volume gap right up to that next high volume node. And even if you weren't looking at the volume profile from the top of the bull market, if we eyed the TA, you could see, right? What happens when you flip this to support and you jump into this low volume gap, right? Your next high volume node is sitting right here at about 1543. Oh, wait, hang on. That's weird. Price is sitting at 1543 right now. It's because there was that next level was right here. And that was even if you didn't know that the previous value area low was there. And then, like, you reveal, it's like, oh, what are we hitting our head on? You pull up the volume profile, you're like, oh, we do have a level of resistance here. There's a little bit of a high volume, right? And then you like pull the covers off, right? And you just reveal everything, and you're like, oh, we're slamming into the bull market brick wall value area low. And it's like, oh, that's what we're hitting our head on, right? And now you know, if you flip it, what to expect next. Now, again, like I said, you have those intermediary levels with that value area high right here, which is now marked out by this blue line. But again, so, there's obviously levels here that you could bounce off of, but eventually we are starting a potential journey to between, again, $26 to $31 for Chainlink. But again, this is the key level. You got to get above there and flip it to support. But hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of x-ray vision into what what we're looking at here on Chainlink as far as the levels go. And then other than that, VWAP coming up on your 5-day looking for a green dot, 4-day looking for a green dot. Your 3-day got a little bit of a VWAP flop here, giving you a bearish divergence into that key level of resistance. That could give you a cool off. So I wouldn't be, I'd be careful, right? You could kind of bing bong around here. This is resistance. Oftentimes when you attack these levels, you will kind of bounce around a little bit before finally breaking up above it. So watch out for some bing bonging around here, but eventually once you flip this, I would look to start the journey up to this previous value area high at 2257. But just understanding you're on that longer journey to the top of the volume profile. Always going back to the volume profiles to zoom out and look at the kind of look behind the scenes of what we are kind of to see the roadmap of where we are likely to head, right? And then you got to zoom down to the local price action to find the local levels and kind of what is going to go on with the noise in the market on those lower time frames. But in the grand scheme of things, big level of resistance. We are tapping on the door at about $17. Let's get above it and then shoot up for those higher targets on Chainlink. So with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time we got for today's Sunday Sauce live stream. If you guys like this new content that we've been adding, we've always done videos. We've always done videos on Sunday or Sunday Sauce videos, but we never did them live. I figured it'd be fun. I kind of like it. We don't have to get the videos edited. It's a little bit easier, honestly, and I feel like you just get the information out quicker. It's live price action. You guys can ask questions. You guys can call out altcoins, and I just think it's a better way to interact with the community. So let us know in the comments down below if you guys like this content and if we should keep doing these live Sunday Sauces. We will still do tutorials and pre-records sometimes for these, but I like hanging out with the Mafia. Sometimes I can't wait till Monday's live stream to chill with the mob. But shout out to Crypto Pollo, said he likes it. Mark S says, thank you, Frankie. Yeah, nice one. Shout out to Ordonez Official. Shout out to you, man. TRD Farmer in the chat said, Sunday morning is a great time to see you, Frankie. And that's another thing, too. I know we have a lot of Mafia members or CandleMafia members. I want to be clear, YouTube. We are just a friendly CandleMafia. But I know a lot of you guys are in different time zones. And I know not everybody can tune into the 5:45 p.m. live stream, so we wanted to give you guys some earlier content, and we are working on changing a lot of the content schedule to maybe give you guys a little bit more sauce earlier in the day during the week. So stick around for that, guys. Shout out to Multi6 said, this is the way. Shout out to you, bro. And shout out to everybody who tuned in tonight. Thank you for watching the live stream. Smash that like button on your way out. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. You got a little bit of time left in the weekend. Go touch some grass if you haven't already. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, different time, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frankie Candles YouTube channel. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get it, no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve. Shield my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no giving. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. Down, wonder when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need the brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem, man. Perfect, let them watch me. Elevating, got them nauseous. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house. And woo! Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead. Woo! Watch how I set it up, bet you I shut it down. Watch how I get a win. I don't think they really wanna come against the winner. Got a finger run up in on a grenade. I ain't never been there when you think you compare. I'm a line, but the winner about the cage. I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get it, no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out.
Okay, guys. Listen, I saw a bunch of people asking for big time, And I just scrolled back in the chat and I saw it like 30 times, guys. I can't leave you hanging without any TA on big time. So let's go ahead and check it out real quick. Really what I'm going to do here, guys, I'm going to go real quick. I'm not going to do any like serious crazy analysis here or anything like that. But I will let you guys know that big time, yeah, this is moving. Shout out to, I think 12 asked for it. I saw a few other people. But this is, obviously, this thing is getting an absolute move. I believe this is a gaming token. I've heard some people talk about this before, but this thing is obviously getting a pretty nice run here. Now, we have had a not a significant, but somewhat of a decent correction here. Now, I want to point out that there is not a lot of longer-term price history on this, so take that for what it's worth. I will say this thing does look like it may, again, daily money flow is just simply not there because there's not enough price history. But VWAP coming to the upside, in my opinion, in my experience, I should say, a lot of times when you see price correct like this and VWAP is rounded nicely like this, just looking to cock back to the upside, it oftentimes is a scenario where you will see the highs get broken. Now, I'm not saying that, oh my God, big time's about to break another, make another high here, but I just wanted to let you guys be prepared if you do come back up, where to look for a potential rejection and where to look for the next targets. So real quick, VWAP coming up on the daily, nice rounded VWAP. You guys know we like those rounded bottoms on this channel. But you guys, this would be somewhat of a signal that you could get a push up. VWAP looking to give you a green dot on the 16-hour, the 12-hour, and that 10-hour fresh green dot is printing. And to be honest, shout out to somebody recently asked me what I like to see for a trigger and an anchor wave. This is almost a perfect example of what I like to see. I like to see personally a break of the momentum wave below the oversold level and then a tiny little trigger wave like we have right here. And oftentimes that is where you get those explosive poppy moves to the upside. Obviously within context of your other TA, right? We had money flow coming up here, other things to call for more upside. But that is a beautiful, in my opinion, anchor trigger wave right there. There's your handle. And then this is, a lot of times, I do this all the time. Sometimes there's like these big, long barrels or something on the front of these things. And then a lot of them have a hammer back here. And then there's like a little trigger, right? And then what happens when you pull the trigger, price go boom, right? Speaking of that, I'm actually going to the range in a couple of minutes here. But anyway, shout out to my pew friends. But there you go, right? This is what we are looking at. So right now, if we do get a push to the upside, some resistance I would be wary of would be this golden pocket 786 retracement. Sitting right here between about 0.089 and 0.080, or 80 cents and 89 cents, I should say. So if we do push up back into this level, guys, this is your golden pocket retracement that could give us a little bit of a bigger push to the downside. Money flow on the 2-hour crossing into the red. You would obviously have to reassess all this stuff as you get back up, into these levels. But if you do get a full retracement up into here, this would be an interesting place that I would like to kind of scout for potential short positions, right? Now, obviously, you could take the highs here as well from this top wick, so maybe you come take the highs. But if you do break out and come to higher prices, guys, I will give you 2 more targets in case this thing decides to go absolutely ballistic psychopath altcoin on us and just yeet back up to higher prices. Next major targets I'd look at is $1.28. Likely going to be a level to get some resistance on, and then $1.75 as well. So, guys, a little bit of quick and dirty TA on big time. I didn't want to go too far into that and extend this live stream to 2 hours again. But there we go. Shout out to Tyler Durden. Bro, we did it in 1 hour. Better than 2 hours. Not as good as, we tried to do 30 minutes, but I don't know if 30 minutes is long enough for me to do anything. So with all that being said, shout out to anybody collecting those big time gains. So with all that being said, gaming on Solana, I think. Yeah, thank you, Darren. I appreciate you for filling us in on that. Yeah, I do remember a lot of people saying that. Shout out to this dope community. Shout out to Multisig Dummy, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on today's Sunday Sauce live stream. I really appreciate everybody watching, hitting the like button, and just being awesome people. So smash that like button on your way out. And that's all the time I got for today's live stream. I'll see you guys next time. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go. At the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ay, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. On demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it too extreme, you ain't seen it like that, yeah. And it's the dream, and we coming for the bag, yeah. And we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the